guys, and welcome to the inaugural episode. Very much like Donald Trump is about to become president, we're about to embark on a podcast career.
They're going to go as well as each other.
Yeah, sure, yeah. For as long as Donald Trump's president, we'll fly our Concerning Geeks flag high, because that should go really well. Welcome. My name is Pippin, of course.
I'm Dave. And
my fantastic co-host.
Yet to be seen.
Yes, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm just, it's all summation. What's that word?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Luckily, this isn't a podcast about English. It is, in fact, a podcast twofold. The first half is very much movie reviews and such, because we do, in fact, work in the cinema.
Yep, which means we get to hopefully see the films as soon as they come out in the UK.
As soon as they come out, yeah.
Then we can give our opinions.
That's the only caveat. We are in the UK. I know, for instance, like Hacksaw Ridge, already out in Australia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, man, yeah. I was listening to a review the other day, but it's supposed to be, like, really good.
Yeah, no. I mean, Mel Gibson as a person, yeah, but his films, his son's quite good.
Yeah, he's alright. I mean, it's fine. It's like Andrew Garfield is allowed to run into battle with no weapons.
Yeah, it looks really
apart
good.
From his spider sense.
His ability to hide under dirt, apparently.
I saw that,
in the trailer.
No, it's not him under the dirt, is it?
Oh, yeah, he buries someone else.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm assuming that he
you
gets
have
in
to
afterwards.
trust me.
Yeah.
And then,
He just sounds like such a hill. I know, I get that he's meant to be a hillbilly. He's like ultra-Christian, doesn't want to shoot
like
people.
the deep south.
But he just talks like this, and it's just a bit distracting.
It is weird, because at the same time, right, so we're currently showing, as this is released, Silence, with Andrew Garfield, Liam Neeson, and Adam Driver?
Yeah.
Yes. So you see, like, this priest guy, like, who's very, like, not to ruin Silence, but, very calm and collected and all that jazz. And then you watch the trailer for Hacksaw Ridge, and, like, a fair play to Andrew Garfield. I mean, like, what a fantastic range. But it's just really weird seeing him with this really hillbilly accent.
Yeah. And there's that bit where he, like, high-fives a grenade, and then he goes, that looks really intense, and Silence is a very good film, but it's very...
dry.
There's no action whatsoever. There's a bit of swimming at one point.
There is a solid bit. It's pretty much the equivalent of just eating a whole pack of Jacob's crackers. And it will take that long as well, of just, like, crunch.
One of these days we'll have to do the cracker challenge. You've got to eat like 10 crackers in a minute. Or is it 6? I don't know.
No, it's 10. I'm sure it's 10.
I thought it was 10, and then someone was like, I did the cracker challenge, I ate 6. I'm like, that's not it.
Talking of challenges, like, sorry, the first half's movie, second half is Geek, which is a fantastic segue.
Also got a third part, which won't be featured on this podcast, but in future episodes we'll be bringing a guest in.
Yeah, we talk about their favourite films.
But also they'll come up with their
challenges
own
topics.
So
talk about anything.
Yeah, literally anything. Could be science. Could be I want to stay away from politics.
It's not science. Yeah, we'll stay away from politics.
Okay, I'm going to bring up science every episode.
We opened this with like an analogy of Donald Trump. We're like, no, we'll stay away from stay very clear away from politics
and religion, apart from in films, I guess.
Jedi.
Talk about
the Jedi religion. Fine. It's the only one we're allowed to talk about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was Snoke a Jedi? Was he a Sith?
Have you seen the new theory that he's Mace Windu?
Fucking hate this theory.
That's just stupid.
We'll get into that at some point because it's just wax lyrical about how fucking retarded that fucking theory is.
At one point I want to talk about Mace Windu and his purple lightsaber, because I know there's like a lot of people giving justifications for why he's got it, but me and Mark have both read what the actual reason for him having it.
Yeah, we've seen the interviews with Samuel Jackson, and I've read the interview with George Lucas. We know what the answer is.
Yeah, and it's just I love how people have like retrospectively gone back and changed the lore and be like,
changed the canon.
He does it because he's embracing the darkness.
So it's supposedly about balancing the light and the dark side.
Yeah, a mixture of blue and.
Should we tell them why? Yeah. So the actual reason why Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber.
He did get killed by being flung out of a window. So.
Oh, do you reckon that was a thing?
Yeah.
Do you reckon like, let's throw him out of a window?
Irony.
Is that irony? Is that's
wordplay?
It's wordplay, isn't it? Yeah. Text in. Get in contact. Is it? Get in contact. They're gonna be like, dude, you can't even speak English. How do you expect to do a podcast which is primarily talking about words?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber was because he went to George Lucas and said, I'm not going to do an accent mainly because I don't want Samuel Jackson to beat me up because he's 100% going to be a fan. Yeah, he goes to George Lucas. He says, he's like, in this huge battle scene, how am I supposed to spot myself in this huge, like, his lightsabers going everywhere? I want a purple lightsaber, or like, I want a specific color lightsaber, so I know who I am. And George Lucas turned around and said, no. Fuck off. No, he's like, no, like, you can't, like, that's not a thing. And then, like, you know, George Lucas went in post-production, post-edit, and gave him a purple lightsaber so he could spot himself. That is it. That's legit the story of how he got a purple lightsaber.
I love it.
Right, so yeah, so first half is going to be movies. Like I say, we can get these things out pretty quick, especially if we get advanced previews, which we sometimes get. Yeah.
And then also we can do videos on... me and Mark are actually part of a D&D group at the moment.
Yeah, man, yeah. So
Mark's our Dungeon Master.
Yeah, so we do so they're going to be sort of running side by side. So this is Concerning Geeks, which is like our umbrella, and then under that we're just going to do a bunch of other stuff, really. But this podcast is the main Adam driving force.
Speaking
of force, oh my god, I've got 2 jokes in there.
Nice. Did you ever see Patterson? Patterson. We showed it for like a week, and like 4 people turned up to see it.
That's about right.
But it was Adam Driver playing a bus driver. And that was just a sort of infinite amusement to me. Apparently, it was a really good film. It was just like it was just him playing a bus driver, and there was barely anything else to it. He really liked poetry, but there was no action.
I do remember this film. Yeah, no, I never.
It was just very much like a tribute to the everyday
drivers of America.
Well, but just like the everyday kind of people.
Wasn't his wife cheating on him? Is that what? That was another crux of it. I just read the little blurb on the screen. But we are going to have to start watching those films instead of just the ones we want to watch. But yeah, every time we get ready, and we can also kind of give you like semi up to date how popular a film is. I mean, this is based, like, that side of things is based purely on how well it's doing in our venue. So that's not necessarily reflective of the rest of the country, but
especially since Harrogate people, I mean, La La Land is going massive at the moment for us. That's quite popular amongst.
So yeah, we're in Harrogate, which is in Yorkshire, so it's very much Yorkshire folk, you know.
But yeah, this is La La Land's quite popular amongst middle-aged people.
Yeah, which, by the way, like, so as part of our job, if you like, we're a slightly interesting cinema chain in the fact that we have screen announcements and things just to welcome you into the venue. And La La Land is the nicest crowd we have ever had. Yeah. I think it's because it's a musical. People are kind of aware of theatre etiquette.
Yeah.
So they're used to being seated. You know, they're used to getting sort of, you know, food there and stuff. And they're used to someone coming out and saying, welcome, thank you very much for coming out.
Yeah. And just relaxing with a nice glass of wine.
Yeah, man, it's so nice. Like, it's such a fantastic crowd. Like, and everyone's really sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So let's should we crack-a-thon?
Yeah, cool.
With said movie review. I don't know what I want to say there. Podcast, movie review.
It's the movie section of our podcast.
Oh my god. Right, so this would make me so incredibly happy. So Dave is, in fact, an amazing musician, and anyone that does watch the D&D stuff, you will hear Dave's music within it. Mainly because he plays a bard. So I believe the last, on episode 1 or 2, we had, or 1 and 2, we had a mandolin. In episodes sort of 3, 4, 5, there was a flute. So, like, he's an amazing musician. However, what I would greatly appreciate is that someone wrote us jingles.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Nothing would make me happier than if we had a jingle for the movie part. That'd be fantastic. And the geek part. But anyway, so for the first episode, we thought we'd go with
So, because it's the beginning of the year, we thought we'd kind of talk about 2016 movie, because despite Brexit and Trump and everyone going on. Everyone's been saying it's a bad year, but I think for movies, it's actually been quite good. So basically, I thought we'd pick 3 films that we want to talk about, all for different reasons.
Okay.
So for me, the first one I want to talk about is Civil War, Captain America: Civil War. Because for me, I'm not getting franchise fatigue with Marvel, but I don't think I enjoyed Civil War as much as a lot of people did.
No, I agree. So I think that. So I've always said that Marvel makes the best movies.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah,
DC makes the best TV series. Think about Flash, Arrow,
I've not
Supergirl.
Heard great things though.
Really? No.
People really like the Flash, but I've heard that like Arrow. There are only reason some people watch Arrow and Supergirl is for the tie-ins with the Flash.
Yeah, I mean, Arrow started off like insanely strong. Like when Arrow first came out, I was like hooked.
Okay.
So good. And then, very much like Breaking Bad, it dipped. It dipped like a motherfucker. And like it was just so hard to watch, even with his shirt off. It was just so hard to watch. Like it was insane. And like The Flash started really strong, went a bit mediocre, but it's really come back in force again. Supergirl got a lot of abuse, but I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic. I was a bit disappointed when I found out she was in Glee. Like I don't know why that really affected me. But I think DC makes the best TV series, but Marvel makes the best films. Like for me, that's never been an argument until Civil War.
Right. Yeah.
Civil War is just.
Yeah. I think for me, when I saw it at the midnight showing.
Did you go to midnight release Civil War?
Yeah. Nice. It was in Manchester.
Took me a long time to watch Civil War.
Right. I can't remember when exactly it came out. I know it was end of spring, beginning of summer.
We should probably check stuff like that for a movie review podcast.
It's fine.
Right, you wax lyrical. I'm going to Google when Civil War came out.
But for whatever reason, I saw it in the midnight showing, and I'd had a super busy day that I think. Oh yeah, in fact that was it. I'm pretty sure I saw it the day of my last exam of the summer. So this was my final year at uni.
What was the exam?
It was you know how with university degrees they got like honours.
Right.
So there were the 2 papers I had to do for the honours papers to make them like officially accredited by this governing body, and so I had to write for about 2 hours about what I think is going to be the next biggest biotechnology.
And what is the next biggest biotechnology?
I think it's going to be CRISPR, which stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. And it's
good. I agree.
I could go on for a while, but basically it's a really interesting way of editing DNA that's coming out. And so
So is that the whole thing about where you can pick the colour of your child's eyes and you can get rid of like...
In theory it could be used for that, but I mean it's more of a... Well, I mean, originally CRISPR actually came from bacteria using it to defend against viruses.
Okay.
Because basically what it does is it cleaves DNA. But
that sounds horrific.
But only specific bits. So it's got like this little strand of RNA that recognizes, it acts as a template. It recognizes the virus protein and then it cuts it in half.
There you go, kids. You just learned something new.
But yeah, and then scientists in recent years have been like hijacking it to use it to knock down genes or even edit them if you can use it to do point mutations by introducing like a different bit.
That's pretty cool, man. I
told you we'd talk about science.
I'm nothing but impressed. We did it say we were going to end up watching it. So.
And it took us less than 20 minutes.
And that's science.
Science.
That's science. Right, so, sorry. So you went to see it on the midnight release, and I'm still trying to find the actual fucking release thing, because at the moment all I've got is that it was released. Oh, there we go. 6th of May 2016, according to this. Don't know if that's the US date, or that might be the US date. US release date.
That was it. It wasn't the day that I did my exam. That was Warcraft. Or Warcraft was just after it.
Would you like to know how much it made on its opening weekend?
Yeah, why not?
$179,000. Wait.
That can be right.
I know, right? I just missed a decimal point out. It made $179,000. They're like, we fucked up. $179 million. 139,100. What the fuck? I can't read. What does that say? That's not billion, surely?
No.
That's million. That's that.
Yeah, $179 million.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So $179 million, $139,142. That's very specific.
Yeah,
yeah. All right. And it's grossed apparently over $408 million.
Fair. This is the kind of cutting edge journalism that you can expect from us.
IMDb, yeah, this is why I never became a journalist.
Looking up things on the internet midway through the podcast and then not realising what number it is.
I've seen worse things like being reported by the BBC.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the Metro.
But anyway, yes.
Okay, yeah. So you saw it on the midnight release.
Yeah, it was the day that I submitted my dissertation.
Okay.
So which accounted for like a quarter of my degree overall, or something crazy. So super stressed. I went to see it. I was really tired. I'd been like living on energy drinks for the week beforehand, trying to get all the referencing stuff done and trying to get it all out after doing a crazy amount of hours in the lab. And it didn't. I enjoyed it, but it just didn't knocked me out of the park. And I'm wondering if it was just because of the mindset that I was in.
Could be, yeah. Maybe you went into it tired.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my issue with Civil War was the fact that they read the graphic novel, burned it, and then decided to do their own thing.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
I also don't understand why you'd release it under a Captain America title. That's very clearly saying that we're on the side of Captain America. I mean, I was when I read it. Of course I was.
Yeah.
But, like, still, I don't understand why you'd release such a biased title. The whole point of Civil War is that you're supposed to choose a side.
Well, I mean, there could be rights issues. So, for instance, with Thor Ragnarok this year.
Yeah, very. Is it later on this year? Isn't it? End of it's second half of the year. I know that.
Yeah. I think it's third quarter. So like
release date hasn't been confirmed as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean that's basically a Planet Hulk storyline. But because if they released it as a Hulk film, they'd have to pay one of the other studios. Like there's some rights issue where they can't release it under Hulk's name, or they'd end up losing a bunch of money for it.
That's for everyone that moans about Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they're so bad. Is it's a rights issue.
Yeah. Sony
just churn them out so they don't lose the rights to Spider-Man.
Although with Homecoming, I think Marvel actually got a lot of
massive control. Speaking of, I know it's nothing to do with it, but speaking of Spider-Man, did you ever read the release statement that Sony said about Spider-Man?
No.
So they were like, I'm guessing this was sent out to directors as well, but it was this huge leak saying that Spider-Man couldn't be black.
Oh no!
Miles
I did that. Yeah. Well, to be fair, he's half black, half Latino, but I'm pretty sure there's also a bit that said no Latino.
Just like little asterisks. Yeah. So couldn't be black, couldn't be gay, couldn't be mad. Like these really weird fucking points about what's. Like, fuck off. Shut the fuck up, Sony. I say that like, well, I mean, we might have access to Sony discount in the future.
Please sponsor us, Sony. Yeah, say nice things about you.
Yeah, I've never wanted a black Spider-Man. Those crazy black Latinos ruining Spider-Man.
But I mean, it's quite strange though that so a lot of people wanted Donald Glover. They thought he'd be like a perfect fit for Miles Morales.
Every time someone says Donald Glover, I think Danny Glover.
Yeah, in fact, there was actually one of the a website reported that Danny Glover was in the new Spider-Man Homecoming, and everyone was like, "No, that's not true."
I would 100% pay to watch that. Take my money now. Again, I'm too old for this shit.
So they've got Donald Glover in Homecoming. I don't think they've announced who he's playing though.
Okay.
And I think those people would be really interested. Would love to see him play Miles Morales, but at the same time, he's older than.
Yeah, Miles Morales is like 14, I think.
Yeah, it's meant to be that.
I never read a lot of the Miles Morales stuff, if I'm honest.
He's actually featured quite fairly prominently in. Have you seen any of Civil War 2? Just come out recently.
No, it got ripped to shreds.
Really?
Yeah, man. Every so I was speaking to the guy that runs the our local comic book shop, and he was saying that it's a very, very weak storyline.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I've not read the
Marvel and the Tale of the Cash Grab.
Yeah. I've not read the books personally, but there's a really cool YouTube channel called Comic Storian.
Okay.
And basically, what he does is he takes the comic book storylines and then reads them dramatically. And it's quite good actually. And then it shows up with a bunch of panels, and they've just been edited just enough so there's no copyright issues. So basically, he just takes the text out, but then because he reads it himself,
that's really fucking clever.
So like a really nice way around it, and so I've been kind of following up with that. I mean, to be fair, the way he does it actually seems like quite a good storyline.
That sounds quite cool.
I mean, yeah, he does it into nice 20-minute videos, so it's perfect.
I could do that. There was one of the podcasts I listen to is hey look, Peter. No, is that Peter? No, what is that? That looks like a charity bag.
It's a charity bag.
Yeah, let's fill up with clothes that I don't own. What is it? Who's it from?
Leukemia Care.
Ah, yeah, I haven't got anything to give. I'm sorry. If anyone wants to give to Leukemia Care, then go to leukemiacare.org.uk. Sorry, this just got delivered from my front door. The helpline is 0330 004 0595. Right, that's our public statement announcement sorted.
See, I'm expecting to get cease and desist letters from Marvel, but not from Leukemia Care.
It's just like, we don't want to be associated with your body.
Horrible.
I feel so guilty.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so the podcast I listened to, Hollywood Babylon. So Kevin Smith, a huge, massive fan, released a Batman book called Batman, the White Ninja, Cacophony, and all this jazz. And they did a dramatic reading of his book,
Oh, nice.
which was so cool. But the guy they do it with is a guy called Ralph Garman, who's a voice actor. And do you know Edwin, you know Mary Poppins? Do you remember that classic Mary Poppins film? It's been a while. Mary Poppins, you know the guy on the ceiling?
No, sorry.
No? Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter?
Yes.
Okay, that gentleman is called Edwin.
Okay.
Very specific voice. If you hear that voice, you know who it is.
Sure.
So when they did the dramatic reading, they did the Joker's voice as Edwin.
Oh, nice.
And it works so fucking well. Like, it's so fucking funny. But anyway, where are we?
On a quick unrelated note, at some point, me and Mark are going to have a podcast where the topic's going to be who's the best Joker. It's going to get super intense because we are both quite passionate about who we think is the best Joker voice.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's not give anything away. We're also going to, I think, following on from that argument, I think we're going to go Batman, but I think we're going to be giving each other the actors.
Yeah.
So we have to defend that actor.
Oh, yeah. So we're just going to put, like, names in a hat and then...
Yeah, we just pick out, like, George Clooney.
Oh, like, God, that'd be the worst.
Because bat nipples are important.
Who do you think... Who's harder to defend out of Val Kilmer or George Clooney?
Clooney.
I think it's harder to defend him being a good one. Because I think he did an okay Bruce Wayne. He had the kind of...
No, he just played George Clooney.
Ah, yeah, fair.
Val Kilmer I thought was quite suave.
Yeah.
In my mind, Val Kilmer is to Batman what Lazenby is to James Bond. So Lazenby did The Spy Who Loved Me. I think, oh fuck, that's going to kill me now. Pretty sure it's The Spy Who Loved Me, which is a fantastic James Bond. No, not Lazenby. Fuck, I'm talking about the wrong guy. Dalton, Timothy Dalton.
It was Dalton though. He did.
Dalton, not Lazenby. Dalton, who incidentally plays one of the villains in Chuck, which makes me incredibly happy. Dalton, like a really fantastic actor.
He's also
really
he's in Hot Fuzz, isn't he? He plays
in Hot Fuzz, yeah.
The guy who gets the church spire through his face.
Yeah. Oh, he's such good. Watch Chuck. Watch Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Watch James Bond.
Speaking of Kevin Smith, I watched Mallrats the other day.
I'm such a big Kevin Smith.
I think Stan Lee should bring that beard back. I think it's a good beard.
That was a good beard, wasn't it? Yeah. I think over there I've got the anniversary edition of Clerks.
That. Yeah. I haven't seen Clerks 2. Is it any good?
It's alright. It's not bad. It's got good. It's got some good lines in it. It's got I think it's Clerks 2 with Jason Mewes where he's completely naked and he tucks his cock in between his legs and he's like, "Would you fuck me?" "I'd fuck me." I think it's just really weird. He's just like, "Oh, I feel uncomfortable." Right. Yeah. So right.
Wait,
so
was
that the first one?
No, but it's not. I swear I've seen something like that in. Is it Zack and Miri Make a Porno?
No, it's not in that.
Is it not?
No. I'm sure.
Jason Mewes is in that though.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, actually see his cock in there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It also that film told me what Dutch Rudder was.
What, Dutch Rudder? So educational.
I'm sure I want to know.
It's the film that like possibly ruined what's his name's career. Seth Rogen.
Really?
Yeah.
I think his career's going pretty well.
I haven't seen him in a while.
No, he was in.
He hasn't been around in ages.
This Is the End, is it?
Yeah. I haven't seen him around for ages.
Really?
Yeah, like
well, he did the interview, which caused up a shit ton of controversy.
Oh,
so I think
shit. We should definitely review that one day.
Yeah.
Solid film. Not rambling.
I realised that it's been like 10 minutes since we even mentioned Civil War.
Yes.
Probably,
right, let's start off Civil War really quickly. So, Civil War, the graphic novel, my favourite splash page of any graphic novel. Daredevil getting brought to, I can't remember the actual, 42? I don't know. It was, Mr. Fantastic's 42nd idea or something like that. That's the legit bit. Anyway, Daredevil gets brought through and the security guard says, so Tony Stark says, "I'm really sorry about this. I didn't want it to end like this. I'm so sorry." And the security guard says he hasn't said anything since we picked him up. Daredevil then turns to Tony Stark and spits at him, and a silver coin hits him in the face. And he says, "That's 42 pieces of silver you have now."
Oh,
it's like, burn, Judas, dickhead. Yeah. Like, it's just one of my favourites. Like, it's so perfect, man. It's like the tone is bang on.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, I really enjoyed the book. Like, genuinely, Civil War is one of my, I'd say, probably maybe second or third favourite graphic novel I've ever read.
Fair.
So good, man. Like,
the
movie did it no justice.
Do you think the movie would have benefited if they had pushed it back by a year and then introduced more superheroes? Because with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and all the... I mean, I've heard some people say that they don't think that it'll be easy to integrate the TV universe into the film universe because it's so much darker, because it's so much more mature with like dealing with sex and with swearing and with all these, and like what was effectively rape in Jessica Jones, what with the mind control. That's also some very horrible issues to deal with.
I still don't understand why they can't do that crossover though. Like, I don't understand. Like, for instance, with Flash, you know the Flash that we've currently got.
Sorry, we'll crossover with.
Like,
in between the TV
and movie.
Yeah,
like, I think that the guy playing the Flash at the moment, forgive me, I don't know his name, but I think he's a fantastic actor, and I think the Flash TV series has more than earned its place in the pantheon of DC. Yet when they choose to make a Justice League movie, they cast a brand new Flash.
Oh, Ezra Miller. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, just imagine how much you'd fangirl by going in to see the Justice League and seeing that Flash up there on the big screen.
Yeah.
You'd be like, it'd be so much fucking fun, man.
Would they have to take other characters from the TV series?
Yeah, fuck it, do it.
But then, but what if they use up characters? So for instance, in the Flash, haven't they already done their own Flashpoint?
Yeah, they've done Flashpoint.
They've done Flashpoint, haven't they? So that would stop the movie universe from doing it.
Yeah, but like the point is,
one thing I loved about Flashpoint is, you know how it's Batman's dad is Batman.
Yeah.
How cool would it be to see
so good.
Who plays his dad in Batman vs Superman? It's the same guy who played the comedian.
Costner.
No. Batman's dad.
Oh, Batman's dad. Oh yeah. No, I don't know.
You know, he's on.
I know
he's in The Walking Dead
yeah.
and all that. But I'd love to see him playing a brutal Batman.
I think they need to understand that, like, it's one big universe. It's all interconnected.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what fans want to see. They want to see those little touches. Like, for instance, in Civil War, if they were to get, like, a metric fuck ton of extras.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And not just extras, like, people that could, like, legit play that character.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you're watching Civil War, you know that battle scene where there's, like, 10 people, which is just incredibly irritating anyway. But, like, imagine seeing all these people just kick off all these superheroes.
Very cool. Even just like
and then they get their own fucking TV spin-off. You'd be like, shit, man, that's the fucking...
Or just
whoever, like the Mockingjay or whatever. Like, Mockingjay, it's not Hunger Games. I didn't say Mockingbird. Let's sum it up.
To me, it wasn't it wasn't worthy. First, it wasn't worthy of the comic book.
No.
So I feel like if they've changed the name of it, if they've been Captain America punching Iron Man in the face, or something like that, I feel like it would have lowered my. I wouldn't have had the same expectations for it, and it would have been an easier.
I think that's the problem. Like, I was lucky enough in the fact that I heard a bunch of bad reviews before I saw it.
Oh, really?
So I went in there with quite low expectations,
and
I didn't come out there with any high expectations. Like, no, that wasn't changed at all.
Fair.
It was absolutely fucking standard.
Yeah, that was my problem. Is especially since I really like the Russo brothers, and I think I actually think that Winter Soldier was it's in my top 3 Marvel films.
See, that's why
so I was expecting
it was
that
really good.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier was a fantastic film, but that's what.
And also, just really quickly off the the direction style.
Yeah.
The one thing I loved so much about Winter Soldier was the action in it. Like that first fight scene where he's fighting. Yeah. Is it George St. Pierre?
Yeah.
It's an MMA fighter, and he's fighting him on the boat at the beginning. And the camera work. There's none of this stupid Paul Greengrass shaky cam shite. It was like solid. Like you can feel the punches, you can see what's happening. No. Nice long shots. And then the opening shot of Civil War is when they're fighting Crossbones and the rest of the terrorists in whatever. Anyway, they're fighting somewhere, and it's back to fucking shaky cam, and I'm like, what's happening? I see a shield being thrown, and that's it.
I feel like they've just got like a massive hard-on for the Winter Soldier, which makes me sad. Because the Winter Soldier was a really good film. And, like, I agree. And the camera work was spectacular. And then they're like, no, let's just crowbar him into Civil War. But, like, Bucky is a big part of Civil War, but he's part of the end of Civil War. Yeah. Those who haven't read Civil War, I don't want to spoil it. But Bucky is a big part of that, and it leads on to a whole new thing.
Yeah.
But he isn't the reason for Civil War. That's not what happened. And, like, to make, like, Bucky such this integral part of Civil War, I thought was just retarded. It just made me. I was just like, meh. Like maybe they're gonna in the next iteration in phase 26, they're gonna use that as inspiration to go into the next part of Bucky or what Civil War leads on to.
Spoiler warning if you haven't read Civil War.
I was trying to stay away from that spoiler for so long.
Okay, I'll put a little thing in the description. If you don't want to find out, we'll put like a little tag in for when we stop talking about the spoiler stuff, and you can just skip it.
Yeah, okay, that's
basically the spoiler is the Captain America dies.
Yeah,
on
the steps.
In the story arc. I'm pretty sure
so
it's
we go,
called the death of
Captain America. Yeah.
So not a massive spoiler. But so Bucky becomes the new Captain America.
The new Cap, yeah.
Can't remember how, but
I think he just takes over sort of as a sense of.
Sorry, I meant I can't remember how, but Captain America comes back, doesn't he?
Yeah, Cap comes back.
I can't remember how. But
no, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I read the book.
Also, there's a point where Falcon takes over as Captain America.
Does he? What, in Death of Captain America?
Oh, I think it's later on.
Okay,
later on in the story.
Everyone just turns into Captain America at some point.
So, I mean, I think in Civil War 2, if you look at Falcon, he's got a shield on his arm along with the wings, and he's like a weird
maybe I'll
flying Captain America.
But yeah, maybe they're using Bucky, maybe because Bucky's such an integral part of the movie Civil War that they're going to be like, he feels guilty, so then he becomes Captain America. Maybe.
Yeah. If they do decide they want to get someone to take on the mantle of Captain America in the Marvel films later on, they've actually got more than one option. If people want to see more Falcon,
well, they are talking
those cool fly kicks. I do. There's one bit I quite like where he swoops in and he does like kind of like twirl in midair and then kicks two people in the chest.
Crouching tiger, hidden falcon kind of deal.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. They are talking about retiring the characters, aren't they? Not the characters, sorry, the actors.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the contracts get into the point.
Yeah. They should have just done what like Vin Diesel did and signed up for 12 movies.
Is that what he's saying?
Franchise. Yeah, man, fantastic beast. Fast and Furious they're signed up for like 11 movies.
That's insanity.
Yeah, and the only way they could get out of it was a car crash.
Oh, Jesus.
Just leave that hanging up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so right, Marvel.
Swiftly off.
The only reason to watch Civil War is to say that you've seen it. Other than that,
I don't think it's that bad.
Even the theatre was like, "Oh, Spider-Man's in it." I'm like, "Yeah, he was."
It was a good Spider-Man though. You can't deny that.
Maybe.
Would you not say he's the best Spider-Man we've seen in the past?
No.
Really?
Garfield.
Really?
My only issue with Garfield is he's too cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's quite a glaring issue.
Yeah, I suppose.
He's cool. He's got good hair. He skateboards. There's too many.
What's his name? Who's the first guy?
Tobey Maguire.
Thank you. Tobey Maguire, I think, got the whole geeky thing on. Like he did play that part very well. He just got slightly screwed over by really bad scriptwriters.
Tobey Maguire played a good Peter Parker and a fine Spider-Man.
An average Spider-Man.
And Andrew Garfield did the opposite.
Played a really good Spider-Man, yeah.
But a kind of average
Peter Parker. Yeah.
I did quite like the him and Emma Stone had good chemistry. I felt.
Yeah, and there is something about Emma Stone that's just fantastic.
Instantly likable.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you need to go see La La Land.
I do need. I'll go now.
It's really good.
I'll be back in a bit. No, it does look fantastic. Okay, so we were going to do 3 films, so I think should we just condense down to 2, or do you want to do the full 3?
Actually, yeah. Okay, what I'll do is we'll talk about 2 films.
Okay.
And then the third film I wanted to talk about was The Nice Guys, because I felt that was a film that was really good, but
I hadn't seen it.
Not many people have seen it, so exactly. I think we could turn that into its own video.
100%. So we watch it, review it?
Yeah, we could talk about it beforehand, see what you think, then we watch it, and then talk about it afterwards.
100%.
And that'd be a really good thing.
So we'll do The Nice Guys in a few episodes.
Okay. So the other one I wanted to talk about was... Actually, there's 4. Because I thought, there was Captain Fantastic,
right,
which we both saw. But then,
what was the 4th?
Hunt for the Wilder People.
I haven't seen it. No way, I have.
Yeah.
Well, wait. All right. So technically, I've seen it. I've seen the first 10 minutes. I've missed out the middle chunk, and I've seen the last half an hour.
Right. This is the problem with working in a cinema. You have to stand in films a lot of the time, and it just ruins it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, with Hunt for the Wilder People, there was something wrong with the screen. The screen, there was something wrong with the projector.
Yeah.
Turned out it was fine on that instance. We had in fact fixed it in the gap between the last film and this film.
Yeah.
But because they weren't too sure, they were like, "Can you just stand in there for the last half hour?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can ruin this film." So I don't know what the fuck happens in the middle.
Yeah.
I know there's a Ricky Baker song.
Oh, yeah. It's on Netflix now, actually.
What, the Ricky Baker song?
No, I'm for other people.
Makes sense. I saw it announced it the other day. I nearly picked it up.
No, just go watch it on Netflix. It's fine.
I haven't got the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I live in the dark ages. Bleak.
Yeah, I felt like Hunt for the Wilder People kind of fits into the same...
What a bunch of awards.
Yeah.
Well, it was nominated.
Yeah, fair. It's one of those films where I thought it was really good, but it was just slightly undersold by the marketing.
Do you know what? That's the weird thing about working in a cinema is that you do see like amazing films.
Yeah.
Like so good. What was? Oh, it was so good, and I can't remember what it's called. It's the one with on the oil rig. Deepwater Horizon.
Oh, Deepwater Horizon, yeah, that was really good.
Deepwater Horizon was one of my favourite films last year. Like, I came out of that and I just felt shaken, and it was such a powerful film. And nobody saw it.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that film, and it was devastating. Like, based on a true story, of course. Like, but and like,
Mark Wahlberg.
Huh?
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
He did a good performance.
Yeah, like Marky Mark smashed it out of the park, and you're like, that's rare. Yeah, I mean, for someone that signed up for like 17 Transformers films.
Oh God! What that? Yeah, right.
I've stopped watching after the second one, to be honest.
Yeah, good. I've watched both of them since, and it's awful.
Like the first one,
one of my friends has made me watch the fourth one twice, and I will never forgive him for that.
Is that the one with the dinosaur?
Oh yeah, it's with Dinobots.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
I wanted to watch it because it's got dinosaurs.
For like 10 minutes.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's awful. And it's like a 4-hour film where it feels like that. It's like just being punched in the testicles repeatedly.
I went to see a film and I saw the poster for it and I was like, this is appealing to the male ego, but not even the male ego, like the childlike male ego, because it was a picture of a robot on the back of a robot dinosaur with a giant sword.
Yeah.
It was like, this is not even trying to cover up how stupid this marketing team is.
Yeah. But that's actually one of the things I want to talk about in our next episode, which is the kind of the state of movies at the moment, where it feels like everything's either
prequel,
a sequel, a remake, an adaptation of a book.
There's no new ideas anymore.
Well, that's also one of the reasons I want to talk about The Nice Guys, because it's just completely original. As far as I know, it's Shane Black who did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is really good.
Critically acclaimed.
I'm not sure.
Well, Kiss Bang Bang? Yeah, man, that's got a fair amount of credit attached to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if it's like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, but it's definitely really good.
Just out of interest, Rotten Tomatoes, just as a brief sideline, is that they are actually quite accurate.
Really?
Yeah, they rarely make a mistake. Read Rotten. Well, don't actually do the other way around. Watch a film and then look at the review for Rotten Tomatoes. Right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, what was you saying?
But yeah, so it's just like an instance of original cinema, the Nice Guys. So this is one of the reasons I've enjoyed it so much.
We'll do it on the next episode.
And a nice segue into the second film I want to talk about, or third, I guess now.
Fantastic.
Which is Captain Fantastic, which, despite as it sounds, not a superhero film.
No, a lot of people ask that. Like, a lot of people, they're like, it's a superhero film. It's like, yeah, sure.
When I got my haircut, I was just chatting to the hairdresser lady, and she was like, oh, so you work at a cinema, what's your favourite film of the year? I was like, oh, Captain Fantastic. She's like, oh, you like those superheroes, do you? And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not what it is at all.
Isn't he a real superhero?
Yeah.
What is the synopsis of Captain Fantastic?
It's a extremely moving film about Viggo Mortensen. He plays polymath, so he's a really, really intelligent guy. Basically, he's decided to live away from society in the woods with his family. So he's got 5 or 6 kids, I think it is. Yeah, I can tell you the exact numbers. A lot of kids. Yeah, I think he has 6.
I like those characters. Like, the kids get that. So that'd be my only, and it's not even a criticism, is that there were a lot of kids.
Oh,
all the characters tend to blend.
Yeah. There's a few that stand out.
Apart from Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, that one. I quite like him.
I do, but he's just throughout the entire thing. I'm just like, you look like Macaulay Culkin. But yeah, so Lives out in the woods with his kids and his wife.
And he teaches them advanced theoretical physics and teaches them how to hunt, how to survive, grow their own food. To be completely self-sufficient.
He's very honest with his children as well.
Yeah, he treats them like adults, whether it's telling them that no one's going to save them, so they've got to work through pain, or that kind of stuff, or just being completely honest with them. It's a really, really good film. It
is seen, and it is touched upon in the film about brutal parenting. Yeah. It is really moving, very powerful, and very... It's it's rare that you see something like that, and how do I put it? So the form of parenting is 100% what you wouldn't normally see on TV.
Yeah.
And it's rare you see something as brutal as what he does to his kids. And you're like, it makes sense. I agree with almost everything he does.
Yeah.
Apart from the part, spoiler, where he stood naked outside. That was a weird scene. There was no need.
Having seen Aragorn's balls, I'm like...
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Don't think I'll be watching Lord of the Rings in the same way again.
But yeah, so that's the kind of the beginning of the story, and then his wife...
Should we do a pick of the week?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, should we do a pick of the week?
Yeah, go for it.
Pick of the week, Captain Fantastic.
Go watch Captain Fantastic. It's out around now, actually. It's like mid-January, I think, is the release date.
But yeah, so his wife dies.
And then basically he's got to take his kids back into society, and it's all about how...
Her dad says that he's not allowed to attend the funeral.
Yeah, and it's all about kind of how these kids interact with civilization and kind of a child's innocence looking at society as a whole.
Yeah,
almost.
And
it's really, really interesting and thought-provoking.
You know the bit where the kids on the game system. I don't know what game system he's playing of the family.
Oh yeah.
So there's this juxtaposition, obviously, between Aragorn's kids and
their cousins, isn't it?
It's the cousin, yeah. And like you see this, and you're like, man, like we are like you start questioning like how you bring your children up.
Yeah.
And like it's such like it's polar opposites, and like he's on his game system and stuff, and his kids are talking about like physics and stuff, and
there's the bit where
she tries to embarrass.
He embarrasses.
He embarrasses her because she's like, I don't agree with how you're raising your kids. This is all wrong. And he sits there and he's like,
what's the Bill of Rights to the cousins? And they have like a vague understanding, and then to his own kid who's like 6, he's like, oh, what do you think of the 2010 Supreme Court decision? And she goes off on one.
It is
interesting. It was actually featured in. It's called Requiem for the American Dream. It's on Netflix, and it's basically I think it's 3 or 4 interviews with Noam Chomsky, and he touches on that. It's actually really interesting. It's all about like the
check out
redistribution of wealth and power. And actually, Captain Fantastic mentions Noam Chomsky a bit. There's a lot of Chomsky-esque.
Is it Chomsky Day?
Yeah, they have Noam Chomsky Day instead of Christmas.
Yeah,
that's all too.
It's pretty cool.
Too commercial.
But honestly, it's such an amazing film, such a surprising film. You'll find yourself thinking quite a lot during the film, which sounds odd, because a lot of people go to see a film about escapism and the like. But yeah, no, I'd say pick of the week, 100%. Captain Fantastic.
Getting ready to record another D&D session.
Yeah, which is a fantastic segue.
And also, really quickly, the edited version of the D&D session should be about 45 minutes long each, and that will be uploaded to
fucking everywhere.
YouTube,
the
other places.
Yeah.
That is completely free, but if you'd like to see our unedited version, you can visit our Patreon page.
Yeah.
The link will be down below.
I mean, we'll do a separate video for all Patreon and stuff. But you can hear unedited versions of D&D, which is fantastic because if you think we go off on tangents here, you should listen to the D&D stuff. I mean, there's Queen highlights, there's all sorts in there.
Yeah.
There's children being murdered. It's fantastic. Okay, so talking of Dungeons and Dragons, it's a massive hobby, and essentially our lives are revolving around it at the moment.
Yeah.
Even as we are recording, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 D&D books on the table. There are 1 or 2 D&D books in the kitchen as one of our players is doing things. We have dice everywhere. There is shit everywhere. It's a fantastic game.
You bought a second-hand table just to play D&D on.
Also true. In fact, I didn't buy this. It was one of our players that bought this, and it's shaky as fuck. But it is an awesome table. Yeah,
I'm not entirely happy having my laptop on it.
It's very shaky. Let's not touch it.
Yeah, don't.
Don't touch the table.
So this next section, we're just gonna. Our second section is just general geek stuff. But this week we've decided to talk just about D&D.
Yeah, man. So this is the first. We'll just do a general, and then if anyone wants us to talk about anything specific, geek-wise or D&D-wise, just let us know, and we'll cover it.
Yeah, we have a Twitter, so you can.
Tweet away, sir. What is that Twitter? @concerning_geeks.
@concerning_geeks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Looks like not all the titles are taken.
I went around and spent like a day just getting a Twitter, a Patreon.
just sorting it all out. Yeah.
Just because knowing our luck, some bastard will come in and nick it just at the last minute.
And we are better than them.
Yeah, better than that.
Well, but when I set up Table 36, which was an entertainment company I did like 2 years ago, the only opposing I had was a poker company. And I just sent them an email saying, do you mind if we have this as well? And they're like, yeah, we don't care. So mainly because we went nowhere and they're like a multi-billion-dollar fucking company. Okay, so there was a few things you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, so one thing that I found quite interesting was that I joined this kind of group of D&D players 2 months? No, more than that now, about 4 months ago.
No, we've only been open for about 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 3 months. Yeah.
Basically, I joined you as you were the dungeon master. You've been playing and DMing for a while.
Yeah, I've been DMing for a long time now.
Yeah. And then there's also Milo and Benson, who are the other two. Basically, I'm the only newbie. Who's kind of really started fresh.
Never played it before, yeah.
Never played it before, but I just wondered how you thought. So if there's any listeners out there who've not had anyone who's been playing for a while, like for me, it was easy an easy introduction because
you had
there was
people
who knew I could watch you guys, see how you did it, and you'd already worked out your own. So there are little things where you cut corners.
Homebrew rules. House rules. Yeah.
So you can sort it all out. I was just wondering if there's any listeners out there who want to start afresh with all their friends. They've not got anyone who's experienced.
So,
do you have any tips or?
The biggest thing about D&D is that it's got this weird stigma attached to it. And it doesn't help with things like Big Bang Theory where they play D&D. You know, I mean, it is incredibly geeky, but just not in the way that you'd think. So it's weirdly enough, I don't want to turn anyone off by saying it's maths based. There's a certain amount of maths involved. There's a certain amount of fantasy element, but the first issue is getting people to play.
Yeah.
Getting people to, once they've played, even people that you would never expect to enjoy it, love the game. For instance, we've got a friend, Eamon, for instance. Yeah. If you look at Eamon on the surface, you think not a D&D player.
Yeah, true.
He's cool. He's a funny guy. He gets distracted easily. Yeah, he's cool. He's funny. He's a bit of a lad. But he loves D&D so much, to the point where he messages me privately about things he can do in the game.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. So if you are new to this game, I think if you can get just a bunch of people to try it out, Wizards of the Coast are the people you want to go to.
Right.
So if you go on the website, they've got the basic rules for free. Dungeons and Dragons can be as cheap as you want it, or as expensive as you want it to be. You can go full miniatures, 3D terrain. I've spent a fair amount of cash, but not. I wouldn't say a lot. By looking at the table, I've spent a lot of money, but that's fine. That wasn't all in one go.
But yeah,
you can get all this stuff for dirt cheap.
Yeah, you just picked up Bellows Guides
to Monsters, just wanted the extra class.
Yeah, but it just enhances a game just to make it better. But you don't have to do it.
Not at all, man. So the two ways of doing D&D is you go for the Wizards of the Coast official adventures, such as Horde of the Dragon Queen, or Storm King. We're playing Horde of the Dragon Queen, yeah. Or Storm King's Thunder, anything like this, Or you can go homebrew. If you go homebrew, everything's yourself. The biggest resource you can get is Reddit.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons in Reddit, or there's a few groups on Facebook which are bang on. These people will provide you with such an amazing source of information. The fandom for D&D has been going on now since the 70s, I think it is. It's a long time, man. Gary Gygax is the guy pretty much credited for inventing this game. But so if you can get people at least to give it a go, you'll have to buy dice. You can pick up dice for £3. It's stupid cheap. Getting people to play. But if you can't, if your friend group is small or in some cases non-existent, like mine was for a long time, so very alone, so sad. But no, if you can't persuade anyone, I believe the website is called Roll20, which is an online game where they just roll it. They just do it like kind of a Skype kind of deal. So you can play online with just a bunch of people, but there is something to be said about gathering around a table and having that interaction in there, and then it's quite fun.
It's just you can make a night of it. And it's just such a nice way to spend an evening. Just you see your friends, you get to get your drinks together, get your snacks together.
But there's a certain social aspect to it, and I know not in England per se, but definitely in America, there's game stores that run events nights.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. There's the Adventures League and stuff like that, but. Yeah, like, I mean, if you can find someone that's already played it, that's a huge advantage. Like, that's the way I got into it. I knew a DM that was really good.
Yeah.
Who is really good. He kind of, like, sort of semi-taught me the ropes, and I kind of use him every now and again for some good ideas.
And eventually we'll have him on podcast.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. Sandy's an absolute ledge. But, yeah, like, I mean, getting into it, Wizards of the Coast provides enough information on classes, races. You can print off character sheets. You got access to a library.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just print out like 10 pence a page. Done, man. But yeah, like it's hard to get into, but once you're into it, it's a very deep hole. It's gonna take up quite a lot of your time.
But it's worth it.
100%.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I think I covered that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any like drawbacks of homebrew?
Yeah. So one of the biggest problems I found with homebrew is remembering what you've said.
Yeah, fair enough.
D&D is, if you're a dungeon master, especially, is a lot of prep work. So I put about a month into prepping my homebrew world.
Yeah.
And then between games, I update information and stuff. But for instance, silly things like guards' names. I don't fucking know. I'm pretty sure one of them was Bill and Ben at some fucking point. But so there's a lot of prep work that go into it. But when you're playing it, because D&D is so open world, you can spend forever prepping a forest and adventures and traps and various NPCs that they'll bump into, and then at the table the bastards will say, I want to explore the city.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of improvisation, and no matter how good of a DM you are, you cannot prepare for everything that comes out of your players' minds. Like, some really fucked up situations happen in D&D. There are bears masquerading as princes. There are children getting pinned to walls with staffs. Like, it's just horrendous. But
if you guys are really lucky, we might have an animation of some of the
things that's happened.
That happened in the past.
But that is one of the biggest, for me, it's not a drawback because it is fun, but like I guess you call it a drawback, is trying to, like, you need to make a note. Like, one of the best recognized DMs in the world is a guy called Matt Mercer, who is A-grade celebrity DM sort of thing, but he always advises having a notebook, which sounds pretty simple, but it's one of those things where once you hear it, you're like, oh, of course. But just to make a note of everything that's happening, especially things that happen off page, like, you need to make a note of what's happening just to make it more slick. And you can bring back those characters like later on, you know?
Yeah.
Like if the characters, say for instance, refuse to listen to a small boy about an ogre attack, and then the town later gets destroyed and they're no longer allowed into that town. Stuff like that, you know? Like, you can do drawbacks. Like, for instance, what the players aren't aware of is that there's a lynch mob from that town that are currently tracking them.
Yeah.
You know, all that's just completely random. Like, it just happens. So, like, it's so organic. There's 2 players in the room that actually played that adventure, and now they're just terrified.
Well, actually, speaking of Matt Mercer, Matt Mercer does videos for the Geek and Sundry YouTube channel.
He does.
There's some really good, they're all DM videos, and it's all about, like, how you can get out of... Yeah, tips and tricks.
Yeah.
And one of them is a really good one, which is how to get out of hobo killing. Like,
hobo killing is when you'll get a bunch of players and they'll just be like, no, I just want to burn the village down.
Yeah, do they just want to go down the
I just want to kill
the messed up sadistic route, and kind of just nudging people back onto slightly more just traditional,
driving the story forward.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. He gives really good tips and hints and stuff. So if you guys are planning on,
definitely check out that. Yeah. Man. Like, so I'd say that was one of the drawbacks of homebrew. But the advantages of homebrew is the fact that it is homebrew. Everything you want is in your world. If you don't want elves in your campaign, you don't have elves. If you don't want dwarves, you don't have dwarves. If you want, I don't know, racist swords, you have racist swords. Like, whatever you want in that campaign is 100% up to you.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, man. Like, that's why I always lean towards homebrew.
Yeah.
I love sandbox, man. Like, I love just being able to chuck my own stuff at them. I mean, proper Wizards of the Coast adventures have got their place, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so we're playing Hall of the Dragon Queen, but, like, it's just, it's not confining. It's like, it's a tunnel, you know? You're not going anywhere. You're going straight down there. There's a few things you can chuck in there to mix things up again. But if you're not comfortable, if you're a first-time DM, Hall of the Dragon Queen or Mines of Philander are really good to kind of get your eye in. But I'd recommend homebrew to anybody.
I'm actually going to be running some D&D sessions soon.
You are? Yeah, you're going to be your first ever DM. Which means I get to play a fucking game.
Yeah, Mark wanted to play a game so much that I'm now going to have to DM a homebrew game of my own creation.
Just so I can play.
It's going to reduce me to tears, I can just tell.
Ah, man, it's hard work, but it's very, very rewarding. There's something quite satisfying about knowing that your players are about to possibly die.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about Dungeon Master is that everyone thinks that you're out there to kill the players.
Yeah.
Total party kill. No, that's not what it's about. It's about providing your players with a challenge and an adventure. And it is fun screwing them over. But you don't want to teapack your pie. But it is very satisfying sitting there and they're like, yeah, definitely, we're going to go down this tunnel without rolling a stealth check. You're like, yeah, crack on.
Oh, yeah, there's
Roll initiative.
One quick word of warning to any players. Never, ever, ever do what the DM tells you to. There was one game we had a while ago where Mark just goes, why don't you guys go down... There was a fork in a tunnel in a dungeon. He just goes, why don't you just go down the right-hand one? And we did, listened. And it was awful. It just went from bad to worse.
There was an ambush.
So quickly.
There was an orc war chief. You turned into a bear. People died.
Yeah.
That was a good day. That was first NPC kill. Anything else?
No, just... there's also a lot of fantastic resources online. So one that Mark uses a lot, there's a Facebook group.
Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I think that's it, as simple as that. Really good. There's some really weird people on that fucking page. Yeah,
but there's also some fantastic ideas, including one that's featured in episode 2 of our D&D session, which is the bear trap, which is
Don't tell them. Don't tell them what the bear trap is.
Okay.
I want to listen to the podcast so they understand what a bear trap is.
Yeah, tune into episode 2.
It's not what you think.
Midway through. It's a fantastic idea.
It's a fantastic resource. One thing that we'll be doing as well, to link into the Patreon stuff, is I think it's, was it the £1 tier? £2 tier? £5 tier?
£1.
Like the £50,000 tier.
The problem is it's all in dollars, so
it's
like
I get confused. It's stupid.
Or 77.
But it's one of the lowest tiers anyway, is that we do, we had to change the name from behind the screen, didn't we?
Yeah, because I googled behind the screens and literally the second Google result was a D&D page.
So we'll think of a name for it, or whatever. But it's about whoever's. So I'll be doing the first few, and then when you do your campaign, you'll be doing it. Yeah. But it's all about. We'll tell you what we have planned, and then you can watch or listen to the podcast and see how it unfolds. And you will see how often a DM goes off page, especially in homebrew. But it's
and just how badly the players fuck up the best laid plans.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a really cool way to see the difference and see how you can adapt to situations. And I'd like to think that it would be a pretty cool resource.
Yeah. Definitely.
So from this we've got the D&D podcast, which we're going to actually record now.
Yeah, now. Hopefully we'll get 2 or 3 sessions out of it.
Yeah, man, it's fun.
Good.
So in the future, anything you need, anything geeky wise, we're gonna start doing different board game stuff. We've got Munchkin, we've got this werewolf game that you were talking about. We've got Betrayal House on the Hill, Uno.
A podcast of Uno would be so thrilling.
Snap. What else have we got? If anybody wants to donate, I think it's £80. I think so. We can buy the Star Wars game.
Yeah.
With the battle. That's like a battle map that's the size of like the average person's living room.
Yeah.
It's fucking massive. And you can take over the galaxy. So thank you very much for listening. We need any feedback, please.
Yeah.
I just like talking to people. That's all I want to do. I'm so very alone, especially when I'm working on screens.
So we've also got the hobby blog, which will be full of just random musings that Mark has that he can upload.
So many.
Whether is it going to be videoed or is it going to be just
whatever I want, really? Whatever I'm in the mood for.
Could be audio, could be video, could just be words.
It just basically is going to replace my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to do.
Speaking of the Twitter feed, we're also going to do live tweeting films.
So
Mark is going to sit down, watch a. Might be an old film, might be a new film. Actually, it won't be a new film. Just can't tweet
in the cinema, unless it's at 0%.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, yeah,
that could work. Or even if it's at 1%.
If at some point me and Mark are both in work but not working, and it happens to be a film we want to see, and it's 0%.
Tuesday morning.
That sounds like getting all 5 pieces of Exodius. It's just not going to happen.
When the stars align, that might happen one day.
Yeah.
So below this will be all the information, anything that you need. Twitter, Facebook, Patreon,
YouTube. Oh, they're already watching on this. You watch it on YouTube.
YouTube. It'll never take off. Other than that, right? So thank you very much for listening. We do appreciate it. Any final thoughts? Pick of the week, go watch Captain Fantastic.
Yeah, really.
Burn all the copies of Civil War. Film.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
If you're going to burn something, it's Transformers.
Burn Transformers.
Actually, no, sorry, burn Michael Bay.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Michael Bay, yeah.
everyone told me that 13 Hours Secret Soldiers of Benghazi was a really good film, and it was just so Michael Bay, I couldn't have it.
It's because Michael Bay's a cock and is determined to ruin people's childhood.
Yeah, it was awful.
He's doing a really good job as well.
There was a point where the terrorists just shot the American flag, and it's like no one would actually take time out of their day to do this. This is so...
You don't know that. If anyone knows Michael Bay, tell him that we're more than happy to interview him.
Yeah, sure. Have you seen the video where the teleprompter stops working, so he just walks off stage?
Yes. Yes,
that's so satisfying.
Michael Bay's a cock. Alright, yeah, so again, thank you very much for listening. We need a sign off.
I'll make a jingle and stick it at the end.
No, we need to say something. We need a sign off like, have a week.
That's not a thing.
I don't know. Roll high.
Sure.
Roll for charisma. Yeah. Roll for dex. Dex bonus. No, that's the thing. Slash is better than Brian May.
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, thank you very much for listening, folks. Slash is better than Brian May.
That's not a sign off.